The NBA playoffs are finally here, which means it is time for me to do my predictions for the NBA playoffs. And so, obviously, you all know how that goes. I'm going to predict from round one all the way to the NBA finals and, tell you guys who I think is going to win it all. But before we get into my predictions, let's hear that intro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another What's Next on Basketball YouTube video. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, and as I said in the intro, we will be doing my predictions for the 2024 NBA playoffs. And, it's pretty simple here. I'm pretty sure this video will be like maybe 15 minutes or so. I'll try to not make this video be super long, but as I said, I'm going to be going through all the rounds, round one, all the way to the NBA finals. I have some good predictions here. I have maybe some that are going to be very controversial, but overall, I think, I think you guys will like my picks. Hopefully, please like my picks. I worked really hard and thinking about my picks, so please don't hate my picks. But anyways, enough of that. Let's just move on with the first round. The first round, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Miami Heat. I meant to say match, not round. But in this series, I think it's a no-brainer. I have the Boston Celtics winning this series. And now that we know Jimmy Butler will not be in this series at all, I have the Celtics winning in 5. I think the Miami Heat can get at least one win. I'm predicting that win to be one of the games, whether it's game 3 or game 4, which would be at home for them. I know some people are already saying that the Celtics will sweep them. I'm not going to go that far. I think the Heat with this team can get at least one game off the Celtics, but that's really all I see. This team right now is completely overpowered, and they're definitely not going to try to lose already in the first round. They're going to make it pretty far in the playoffs, and this will not be the last time you hear me talking about them. I know game 1, from what we've already seen, Jason Tatum did incredible. He dropped, I think it was like 20 something points. He had a triple double that night. It was incredible to see. Um, I think it was like Bam Adebayo and Jaime Jaquez, I think, are the ones that are really stepping up for the team. I think Tyler Hero's trying. I don't remember what his score was. I didn't really see too much of his game and what he was doing. But overall, the Heat completely got demolished that game. I think they were down almost by 30 at one point. They ended up making the lead go down a bit, but they still lost the game. They never really looked like they were going to get the lead. So, unfortunately, they lost that game, and I think this is going to be the pattern for the rest of the series. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose in 4 games, but I'm giving them the benefit of doubt and saying that the Heat will get at least one game off them. The next series that we're going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic. So, I saw game 1 of this. It was pretty boring overall. It kind of felt like, the 90s basketball. It was very slow paced throughout the game. I think the final score was like 97-84. So not a very high scoring game at all. Now, this isn't me saying like, oh, we're done with the 90s, or I'm saying 90s basketball is completely boring. It's just that's what it reminded me of, because I'm so done seeing everyone's things on TikTok. I don't see it as much anymore just because I don't really go on TikTok anymore. But I do see it sometimes here on Instagram, and I'm just like, guys, let's just stop this already. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, if you don't like 90s basketball, you don't like 90s basketball. I just don't understand why people always have to like throw it under the bus. But we're not here for that. As for this series, I actually have the Orlando Magic winning this. I got the underdogs. Now, I know after game 1, it looked like it's going to be a pretty easy series for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But again, it's only game 1, and I feel like the Magic will be able to step up in the next couple games and beat the Cavaliers, surprising everybody. And I think Paulo and Franz, they're very good players. I really like their game, especially Paulo. He's probably one of my favorite young guys in the NBA right now. And I don't know, I just feel like they can do it. I have them winning in 7 games. Could the Cleveland Cavaliers prove me wrong? Yes, 100%. They could easily prove me wrong. Donovan Mitchell is an incredible player. There's a reason why he did so great with the Utah Jazz and why they kept him for so long and why they were contenders for a pretty good amount of time. But yeah, I'm just going with the Magic. I think the Magic are going to beat them, which obviously for me would be very beneficial because Donovan might want to, you know, call quits with the Cavaliers and maybe request a trade, but that's just me getting my hopes up. But yeah, that's all I really got to say. I got Magic in 7. The next series I have here is the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Indiana Pacers. I have the Milwaukee Bucks winning, and on here, let me check on my thing again. Yes, I have them winning in 6 games. This is going to be a very fun series, especially after what we saw in the in-season tournament and a little more early on in the season when it came to the Pacers and Bucks. I think this is going to be an easy series for the Bucks. I I don't really have any kind of scenario where the Pacers are going to beat the Bucks. I know Giannis wasn't there game 1, but Damian Lillard clearly showed that's not really a problem. But the Pacers are very young and what's the right word I can say? I guess explosive team, we'll say, for the Pacers. So that's why I have them winning at least 2. I think they could sneak 2 games against the Bucks, but at the end of the day, I got the Bucks winning, and that's really all I got to say. So let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Knicks versus the 76ers. This is obviously a series I'm very passionate about, as you can see here. Obviously, you guys know my answer to this, and it's going to be the New York Knicks. I have the Knicks winning this series in 6 games. From what we saw in game 1, there's a chance it might be 5 or maybe 4 if we're lucky. But it seems like overall this is going to be the Knicks to win. The 76ers are looking really weak right now. Joel Embiid just came back from an injury, and he does not look confident after coming back from that injury. Now, we do have Tyrese Maxey, but you can't do it all with just one player, or not even 2 players. As long as we guard everybody else, we can let Tyrese and Joel score 30 points each. Can't win with 60 points, especially with the New York Knicks. So I think the Knicks are just going to easily win this. Can the Sixers win this? Because I know like some people are saying that the Sixers might end up surprising a lot of people. There's a chance, but I think this team overall, the Knicks, are just a really great defensive team, and they have a lot to prove in this year's playoffs. Now, do I think they're going to win it all? No, not really. But as a Knicks fan, it's awesome to see how well they're doing, and I'm still going to root them at the end of the day. If they do make it very far, that's great, but I'm not going to set my standards up too high. This is Jalen Brunson's 2nd year, and unlike Kendrick Perkins, who put him 2nd for this year being like the most pressure for him, I think it was like some list he had where it was like top 5 players that have the most pressure headed into this year's playoffs, and he had Jalen Brunson at 2. And I was like, why is Jalen Brunson at 2? This is his 2nd year with the Knicks. And if anything, he's overachieved already since his 2nd year. But yeah, I know people don't really want me to talk much about Kendrick because I know he's a big fan of us right now. So I'm gonna let this slide, Kendrick, but that's kinda, it's kinda crazy putting him on that list. Now moving on to the West, we will start off with the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Pelicans. Here I have the Thunder winning in 5 games without Zion Williamson, which I don't know if he's supposed to come back or not, or if has the same situation as Jimmy Butler. But regardless, I think the Thunder are going to easily beat the Pelicans. This Thunder team is just incredible and is a team we haven't seen something like this in a very long time. I don't know when's the last time I've seen a team this great, especially at this age. It's just incredible to watch, and I think they're another team that's going to make it very far in this year's playoffs and surprise a lot of people, honestly, which they already been doing throughout this whole regular season. So this is a series I think will be pretty easy for the Thunder, and they're going to beat them in 5. Next series I have on here is the Clippers versus the Mavericks. This is another series where I feel it can go either way. I feel like a lot of people are very split between these two teams. I'm more on the side of the Mavericks. I got the Mavericks winning this in 7 games. Oh no, excuse me, 6 games. I got them winning in 6 games. I You guys know how I feel about the Clippers. I don't really see the Clippers sometimes as a very strong team. I did make a video about how great they've been doing, which I think they still could reach that potential, but personally, I just don't think they're good. And I know, some people are gonna watch this and be like, well, you shouldn't be very biased towards your list here. And you're right. I shouldn't be very biased, but especially with Kawhi being out and just knowing the team and what we've seen, I feel like the Clippers are really just gonna mess it up and they're just gonna lose. And what makes me choose this a lot more is just mainly because of Luca. I think Luca is really gonna shock people. Him and Kyrie are gonna just overall they're gonna do great and be able to beat a team that some might still say are the favorites, especially after seeing what the Clippers did. I want to say it was in February when they had that crazy 9-10 game win streak. I know it's just a shock for people because I made a whole video about hyping them up and saying how great they look. But I just I just think Luka can do it. And I know game one of their series was not a very good look on my part, but I'm not changing my opinion even after that game. I'm sticking with the Mavericks. I got them in 6. If they don't do 6, I'm gonna say Mavs in 7. Next up is the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Phoenix Suns. This is a series that I'm more excited for just because of Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is another young guy that I really like. I think he's a very talented dude and could definitely be the face of the league one day. And he showed that in game one when he had, I think it was 20 points he scored in the third quarter. He is just an explosive player. He's incredible. I just love everything about his game. And as for the Suns, it's it's just really disappointing seeing how their season went. From last year's offseason when they got the trade for Bradley Beal, we thought they were going to be the next super team. I hyped them a lot on my predictions for the stand-ins, which that video will come out. I'm gonna try to bring it out in a couple of days just so we can see what my predictions were, which just to give you guys a little hint was not very good. But it's just disappointing seeing how the team is. I think mainly their bench was very disappointing. I thought they were going to step up more than they did. And because of that, I have the Timberwolves winning in 6. I think the Suns could still win 2 games off the Timberwolves, but with the experience that the Timberwolves have now and with how great they were doing this whole season, I think they're going to take the dub and move on to the next round. The final game of round 1 is the Denver Nuggets versus the Lakers. I'm going to make it quick and simple. Nuggets in 4. I don't. Sorry, Sunshine. You're not making it. You're not making it past Nikola Jokic. I'm sorry. It's over. Just pack your bags. All right, it's okay. You've done enough. People still say you're the GOAT. Debatable, but you're out of here. You're old, man. Just put the crutches on. Go to your retirement home. You made enough money, man. It's over, bro. Just call it quits. Nikola Jokic is better. And I'm definitely not saying all this to get Lakers fans upset. I would never do that. Nuggets in 4. Now, here for round 2, looking at my matchups, we have the Boston Celtics versus the Orlando Magic, and I got the Celtics in 5. Another series where I feel like would be pretty easy for the Celtics, especially against the Magic. I know in years past, the Magic felt like the kryptonite for the Boston Celtics, but this is not the same Boston Celtics team. They have a Kristaps Porzingis now on their team, and they've just been looking very dominant. They probably have the best starting 5 in the league right now. And I think this is going to be another easy series for them, just warming them up again, getting ready for the finals. The next one I have on here is the Milwaukee Bucks versus the New York Knicks. This is the matchup. If it does happen, I would be very excited to watch. I like Giannis. I like Dame. Their team has had, let's just say, a lot of problems this season. So it's been kind of hard to watch them sometimes. And, I've had my opinion on their choices when it comes to firing people, doing certain things. You guys already know. I'm not going to get into it. But, I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm not going to do this for every single series with them, I promise. But I'm going with the underdogs, and that being the New York Knicks. I know some people are going to say, why would you consider them the underdogs? Listen, I know the the Knicks, I know they got the second seed, but we're only up by like one game if you look at the standings. So are we really the underdogs compared to the Bucks? They have a really good team. There's a reason why they won before and why they've always been like top 2, top 3 every season. But I got the Knicks winning. I think they can do it. I think they have enough defense now, especially with Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein both playing incredibly well. We have a very good bench with McBride, Hart, DiVincenzo. We have OG Anunoby, Precious Achua, obviously our captain, Jalen Brunson. They've all just been playing very, very well. And low key, I feel like the Knicks are kind of on that power of friendship type run and just can do whatever now. So I got the Knicks winning in 7. Yeah, that's all I really got to say. Moving on to the Western Conference, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Mavericks, and I have another very hot take that people are just gonna call me wild for because, like I said, I'm putting some hot picks here that are gonna get people's attention that no one else would choose because it doesn't make any sense, but I'm choosing it because I can. I have the Dallas Mavericks beating the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. That's right. I got Luka going to the conference finals. It, there's really no reason behind it besides I just want to see a surprise elimination. And I think that would be a very surprise elimination from everyone if the Thunder were to get eliminated, especially with the teams they have to face off in each round. I felt like it would have been an easy pick to have them go to the conference finals, but that's not happening. I think Luka and Kyrie can do it. I think the rest of the bench can hopefully step up and make this happen. And as for the next series, it's the Nuggets versus Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, again, I already said it. They have been playing phenomenal. I really love their game. I really love their team. But you're facing against the reigning champs right now, and that's the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets look like they just haven't skipped a beat. They look dominant as always, and I got them winning in 6. I think the Timberwolves will put a very good fight, especially knowing what happened in last year's playoffs and how they took out the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are ready to, get their revenge. But unfortunately, I don't think it's that time to get that victory against the Nuggets. So, Nuggets in 6. For your Eastern Conference Finals, I have the Boston Celtics versus the New York Knicks. Out of all the teams that could face each other, to have this matchup in the conference finals, I feel like this is the matchup you want. If I am the NBA and everyone always makes jokes about sports being scripted, and I've heard people say, "Oh, I think the NBA is scripted. I think this, and that," just making their theories out there. If there's any time to script, it is now time for the script to script. It's time for that script to start cooking and make the most fire matchup possible. I think this will get a lot of eyes on the NBA. You have the Boston Celtics that look like they are the ones that are going to make the NBA Finals. And you have the New York Knicks that came out of nowhere, took the second seed, and have just been taking the NBA by storm. We've known for years and years just the Knicks being the laughing stock of the league. But now that they finally found their point guard, they've really been making a name for themselves. I already told you in the previous round how I feel about this team and how great they are. And I just feel like everything they do is amazing. Unfortunately, me, Jeremy, the probably one of the biggest Knicks fans out there on YouTube right now, that has the jerseys all the time in the background. They're always here in every single video. I got the jerseys mainly because these are the only ones I own. I don't own any other teams, not because I hate them. It's just I just haven't gotten any. I will not be choosing the Knicks to win this. I have the Boston Celtics beating the Knicks in 6 games. I know that's very shocking. I know it's very surprising. You would, especially with how biased I've been towards them this entire video, you would think I would choose them, but I am not. I'm not choosing them. I'm choosing the Celtics to win this. The team is just way too dominant for someone as delusional as I am as a Knicks fan to not choose them. I have a lot of hopes for this team, and I think they can make it to the finals. Do I think they're going to beat the Nuggets? I guess we'll just have to find out. But yeah, I got Celtics in 6. As for the Western Conference, it is the Denver Nuggets versus the Dallas Mavericks. In my universe of my predictions, I have the Dallas Mavericks for some reason facing the Denver Nuggets, and poor Mavericks. I know I said they probably could make it very far, but there's no way they're beating the Denver Nuggets. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it will happen. If it does happen, then, cool, that's awesome. But in reality, I think the Denver Nuggets will beat the Mavericks in 5, making the series that we are all waiting for and most people are predicting to happen. Hold on, let's just do our transition. Transition, Jeremy, now to the next round. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the moment you all have been waiting for. It is now time for the NBA Finals. In the red corner, we have the Denver Nuggets, the reigning champs, with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray leading this team. And in the blue corner, you have what would we call them? The rising team of this season. The not really shocking, but also shocking team of this season. The best starting 5, arguably, in this NBA season. We have Kristaps Porzingis, Jason Tatum, Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Jalen Green. This is your Boston Celtics. Let's just, hold on, give the crowd more claps. Come on. Keep cheering. Come on now. This is it. This is what y'all been waiting for, the matchup. The David versus Goliath type matchup right here for real. And that's how I feel about it. This is a I feel like this will be a really fun series. Like, in all seriousness, just stop doing some little goofing around. I think this is going to be a very fun series if this were to be the matchup, and because of that, I think this series will go to 7 games. As for who the winner is, both teams had incredible seasons. Both looked amazing. Both, that at least with how my predictions are, had some pretty easy playoff runs. And probably the Celtics more than the Nuggets did. But I think the Nuggets are gonna win this. I think the Nuggets could be the team that is able to withstand the Boston Celtics that, just like I said, they look incredible. They're like a 5-headed dragon and they look unstoppable right now, especially when you look at their bench. They have a very good bench as well. Maybe not the best bench in the league, but it's still good enough for a team like this. But I just think the Nuggets can do it. I think the Nuggets are going to win and continue the dynasty that we all believe they will be starting. And I think if they do win this, I think this is the trophy that Nuggets fans will be looking at more than the first one. It's I feel like this one will definitely go down as the more impressive trophy, especially if you were to beat the best starting 5 in the league, arguably, against comparing it to something like the Miami Heat where you beat it in 5. I really think this will be a fun series. I think this is the series that people want to see. And yeah, I got the Nuggets winning it. So I got the Nuggets winning 2 years in a row. I think they'll start their dynasty and just become one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. With that, that will be the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just trying to be, I know like in this video, you guys probably look at it and be like, he's a lot more expressive in this video. Why is he acting a lot more goofy than usual? I'm just trying to be, I've been getting a lot more comfortable with the camera and just talking to you guys. And obviously, now that I mentioned you guys, I just want to say again, I say in all the videos, but just to remind you all, I really appreciate you guys and all the support you've been showing. Recently, with all my videos, I've been getting at least 200 views, except for the recent one, but that's okay. Most of the videos have been doing very, very well. where, again, as I told you all before, we're on our way to 500 subs. That is the next milestone. So I really hope you guys can help me, you know, in WWE terms. Please help me finish my story in ending the year with 1,000. We would like to reach our next milestone of 500, but the year end goal is 1,000. So, I just appreciate you guys always liking the video, commenting, sharing the video if you do. So, like I said, just make sure to like this video, subscribe, share, as I said. Um, if you have any opinions on my predictions, whether it's good or bad, please put it down in the comments. At the end of the day, this is not a very serious predictions. I'm not one of the top guys in ESPN or something, so you don't have to take my predictions seriously. A lot of these predictions too, I just wanted to put on there just so we can have some surprises. I feel like it's really boring if I would just say, "Oh, well, this team will clearly win because of how so and so." That's why I had things like the Mavericks and the Magic winning. It probably won't happen, but it's just fun to think of what would happen if they do. And having a team like the Mavericks going all the way to the conference finals is probably one of the most insane things I've said in this channel. But still going to be my prediction. Um, but as always, this is the What's Next on Basketball YouTube channel. I am your host, as always, Jeremy, and I'm signing off for the day. Have a great day, everybody.